From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a PrimeWave Media production.
And oh boy, we got the bets list this weekend. We got ourselves a really good game going between ECU and Tulsa. Tulsa is the fireman, the fire team. CBS Boxing News Incorporated, brother Christian, how you doing, buddy? How's everything going? Much love from LA to New York. Hope everything is well with you, brother. All right, so over 59.5. East Carolina is coming into the game pretty much as a team that you look at and you say, should I take them seriously or are they going to get blown away? They're a question mark. So you don't know how they're going to approach this game and how well they're going to do in this matchup against Tulsa. But Tulsa's been playing some very, very good defense. And Tulsa's been surprisingly very good, period, point blank for the season as well, too. And it's just, I think to them, it's about time. So pretty much what we do here is I'm going to go ahead and take the over 59.5 here because we all know ECU gives up a lot of points, and we know that Tulsa can put some points on the board as well, too. But we do know ECU is good at putting points on the board them damn self. So over 59.5, and man, I'm telling you, this is going to be a very good game, brother. Man, hey, I'll be back in New York next year, man. You know how they shut us down, brother. We was all supposed to be out there for the T.O. Loma fight, but hey, it is what it is, man. But I'm gonna holler at you, though, CBS. Temple, money line. This one is going to be a good one as well, too. Temple's in a matchup where it looks like Tulane should be able to get the better of them, but I honestly think that Temple has had two of the more tougher matchups to start the conference playoff, and I think what happens here is going to be a good game for Temple against Tulane. They're going to wind up putting in a defensive clinic. I'm feeling like I feel like they're gonna do their thing on the defense, man. So pretty much Temple money line plus 140, and there it is. Brother, you moving a little bit too quickly for me, man. We'll be talking baseball at the moment. We're talking college football right now, and then you got Cincinnati. Cincinnati got a good game as well too, but this one right here, this you can bet it either way. I like Cincinnati because they're at home. They're playing hellified football. They blew away an SMU team that blew away this Memphis team as well, too. But once again, you have to remember, this is Memphis. And Memphis has been the top dog in the conference for the last few years as well, too, with UCF. But this time around, though, Cincinnati is a team that knows that they should be the best team year in, year out in this conference. They're coming from the Big East, and they were upper echelon in the Big East when the final years of the Big East. So they've been kind of playing patty cake a little bit for a while here in the AAC, and I think this year is the year that they can go ahead and step it up big because they have a lot of really good players on that team that have been around for a few years now. So Cincinnati, I like them a lot. I think Cincinnati actually wins this game by 10 or better. So let's see how it shakes out. And then we got UCF. UCF has a really good game as well, too. They have a matchup that calls for them to play a certain style of football against Houston. So pretty much you can feel an up and down game coming, but I really do think UCF will have enough at the end to beat them as well, too, because it just seems like UCF been really ringing the Houston's bell the last few times they played. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and we'll move forward from there. And then you got Navy. Navy's coming in once again as a big dog here. They're plus 14 in this spot this week, and I really truly feel that Navy is going to be actually come up pretty big in this spot, to be dead honest with you. They're going to actually be able to cover, and they're going to make this, they're going to really, this is what they're going to do. they're gonna cut this game in half. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna take that highly potent offense and make them, really work for what they're gonna get. But you know what? That's just having hope. This team is not the same team that they used to be, so we'll see how it goes. But plus 14 was very hard to pass up. So there it is with our first list of the week, the AAC, and we move forward with the ACC. The ACC. The ACC has some really good games going on this week, and we got BC, and they are the bum of the week for. I mean, you know what? I don't mean to say it like that because these kids are not bums. These kids are highly trained athletes that are trying to play at the highest level. But it just seems like it's boys versus men. You know what I mean? And that's what just is killing me about Clemson's whole dominance of the ACC. It's just really when you look at it, you be like, damn, this ain't fair, man. Stop it, man. You know what I mean? So pretty much, I like the plus 31.5 on BC. BC's the type of team that you'll beat on them, but they're not gonna just sit there and lie down and just get rolled over like that. They're not gonna get whooped like Georgia Tech did, or was it Georgia Tech that they went out there and just absolutely crushed 73-7? Yeah, that's not gonna happen here with BC. I think BC will at least get beat by 4 touchdowns. Okay. It just seems like don't nobody got a chance against this team, but they will get beat by 4 touchdowns, guaranteed. Syracuse was all up in it last week. They were 46-point dog last week, and you knew you had to take that one even if you was blindfolded. You had to take it regardless. Give yourself a chance, but 31.5 points, I'll take a 31.5 point lead to start the game against Clemson, no problem. All right, Boston College, there it is, plus 31.5. And then we got Syracuse in a possible upset game for them this week. They're going against Wake Forest, and Wake Forest is good, but they're not minus 11 good. So we're going to see how it goes. When they give a team way too many points as a favorite, in my opinion, it doesn't matter who they're playing against. Sometimes they just can't play up to that point total. So I think that Syracuse could possibly cover in this game, could possibly win the game as well too. So let's see how it shakes out in the Carey Dome. But I got Syracuse plus 11. All right, so we have the Notre Dame Georgia Tech game, and Notre Dame, you boys been really good to the kid the last few weeks. We were able to get the over 26.5 in the first half last week when in the Pittsburgh game. This week Notre Dame goes against Georgia Tech, one of the worst defenses in the conference, and a team that is literally easily gives up 35 points a game, like minimum, seriously. So pretty much Notre Dame should go into this one and be able to run the same type of plays and situations that they did against Pittsburgh, but probably be even more successful here. So the over 57 seems like it's a double down bet in my opinion. So Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, over 57. Let's see how it goes. Virginia Tech's coming in as the slight favorite in this game, and I think that this team, Virginia Tech, is going to go ahead and they're going to answer the bell for this game right here. They're going against Louisville. Louisville had a monster win last week, but that was last week. This is this week. Virginia Tech should come into the game, play good Virginia Tech hokey football, and go from there. So I'm taking Virginia Tech with the minus 165. And last but not least, the oldest rivalry in the South, the North Carolina Tar Heels and the Virginia Cavaliers. So if you're from the country and all that good stuff, you know about this rivalry. These boys go back and forth. They've been going at it since the early 1800s, like mid 1800s. So these schools really don't like each other, and we know why. And you got to understand, these is like schools that was part of the colonial wars and stuff like that. So pretty much that's how far this football game goes back. So pretty much, Dez, you can't stop crying because I gave you another shot in the NFL, even though you thought that you was entitled to that position, brother. But I'm happy to see you back, though, man. Hopefully you can go ahead and make it to the first game and not tear anything up before you get there. But shouts out to Dez. Glad that he's back in the league. Hopefully he can make some type of impact on the Ravens. But under 61.5, I'm doing this because North Carolina is not playing the same type of football they do at home. They seem like they don't score as much on the road, and the games be a little bit closer too. And Virginia had a really close game last week with Miami, who I think might be a better team than North Carolina, but we'll see though, because Miami and North Carolina do face off because they are both in the Coastal. So there it is, under 61.5, ACC bets list, and Big 12. And in the Big 12 this week, we got some really good games going on. We got Iowa State and Kansas. So Iowa State and Kansas, they're over here about to play a pretty good one, in my opinion. Kansas is a team that you can really walk all over. We all know this, but I'm going to say under 54 here. I feel like Iowa State's going to play a lot of time possession and things of that nature, eat up the clock, and try to shorten this game, not make it last too long, and just get them out of here pretty early, and just, pretty much play some pretty staunch defense and keep them right where they need to be at. And I just feel like it's going to be the under. I know the weather is going to play a part in it because the weather is starting to change back east and down in, the Midwest and everything like that. So we'll see how it goes. So under 54, Iowa State and Kansas. Then we got Kansas State this week. Kansas State is playing in a really, really tough game from what it looks like. But I think that they're all in on it. And I think they're going to be really good come Saturday. That's going to be something that we got to go ahead and look into and say to ourselves that, you just got to be a little bold here. And I honestly don't think Kansas State needs to be the actual underdog either here. I feel like they are the better team, and I think that what happens here is that they're going to go ahead and win this game. So it is what it is at the end of the day. Kansas State money line, book it. Plus 145. And then we got Baylor going against TCU. And a lot of people are looking at Baylor and thinking, Baylor, they're not looking as great as they've looked over the last few years. With you got a new coach, got a new everything, a lot of things changed, and they just kind of on the run. Covet has been a little bit of a monster to them as well too. But all in all, though, we can go ahead and just circle them up and take them to cover. They're at home; they should be able to cover in this game. Them and TCU always have some great battles. We're gonna see how it shakes out, and we move forward. Then we got ourselves Texas and Oklahoma State. And you already know where I'm going with this one. Both these teams should be offensively charged up come Saturday. And I think what happens here is that we get ourselves a very, very, very good game between these two teams. It's going to come down to the last possession as well too. And you know what? If you can, maybe you might want to bet overtime, because it seems like every time we have one of these big Big 12 games, they wind up going into overtime and the score finishes in a basketball number. So let's see how it goes. Over 59.5, Texas, Oklahoma State. Let's see how it shakes out. And then we got Texas Tech in a really good matchup this weekend as well. They're playing against Oklahoma. So Oklahoma's going to have to score points here, because Texas Tech is going to figure out every nuance and every little way to get scores on the Sooners. So I look forward to this game. I think this game is going to be a really good game as well too. So there it is. That's the Big 12 bets list for you guys today. We're going to go ahead and see how this bad boy shakes out. And hopefully we go ahead and get a nice little sweep here as well, too. Now, we got a whole bunch of games going on in the Big Ten. And, the Big Ten doesn't have a bye week pretty much because they missed the first month of the year and literally just jumped right into conference games. So these games are going to be much tougher than they look on paper, to be dead honest with you. We got Maryland. Maryland's in a matchup going against Minnesota. And Minnesota's a 19.5 point favorite. I don't know. Haven't seen them be a favorite this high in a conference game in very long. But what they're trying to say is Maryland's just a doormat this season, and they're not going to be a good team. I don't want to believe that, because every time you think Maryland's not going to be good or not going to be able to do anything, they wind up beating you. But in this spot, Minnesota probably does win the game, but at the end of the day, though, Maryland is hard to pass up at plus 19.5. Minnesota plays really good football, but Minnesota does play down to their competition, and we all do know that. They play up to big competition, but they play down to bad competition. So I like Maryland in this spot. They at home as well, too. Plus 19.5. Let's see how it shakes out. Then we have Illinois, and Illinois is in a very, very intriguing spot in their own right as well too. And I really do like this money line here. I know it looks a little crazy right now, but we'll see when we get to game time and this team shows up and has a big day. So Illinois, cash us out, man. Plus 210, and they're coming off a big bad loss against Wisconsin, a team seen as one of the better teams in the conference as well too. So this should be this team is a little bit lower rung than Wisconsin. So I think that Illinois should be really good here in this spot. So there it is, Illinois plus 210. And then we have the Michigan State, Michigan and Michigan State and Michigan, okay? Not Michigan State and Michigan State, all right? Sorry about that. So under 54 in the Battle of Michigan, the gold, what is it? The blue and maize going against the green and white. And, this is always a big game in the state of Michigan. And, pick a side. That's how it is. North versus South, East versus West. It is what it is at the end of the day. But I do like the under 54. Michigan State is getting plus 25 in this game as well, too. So that kind of tells me, like, damn, where are we going with this game right here? They're saying that Michigan is due for the blowout in the spot. So I like the under here because usually in these blowout games with Michigan State and Michigan, it winds up being it really does wind up being, a little closer than it needs to be, or they just don't score a lot of points and one team gets blown away. But I would say the plus 25 wouldn't be a bad bet for you in a rivalry game, but I don't know. These guys lost to Rutgers by 11 points. So, I don't know about Michigan State anymore. So, under 54, Michigan State, Michigan, let's see how it shakes out. And then we got Indiana and Rutgers. And Rutgers feeling like the big boys on campus now. They got Greg Schiano back. They went up into Michigan State, of all places, Lansing, Michigan, and stomped out the Spartans. Now they want to get with the Hoosiers a little bit. Just like LeBron was saying after the finals. The Rutgers show us some damn respect, Pop. You've been dogging us for the last 2 years on your little shows and everything, and you see how we popped you last week. So this week, I'm going to go take the over 53.5, Rutgers is over here deboing the money out of our pocket right now. So they got a good line this week as well, too. So if you're not scared to take him, take him. You know what I mean? So, but I like the over more. 53.5, Indiana Rutgers. Let's see how it shakes out. And then we got Iowa Northwestern. This is a really good game. Under the radar game as well, too. This game could play a big factor later on in the season if both teams are successful. But in this game, I have Iowa winning. I think Iowa avenges that loss from last week. That was a very unfortunate loss for this team as well, too, because they were really moving and grooving and they were doing pretty well in that game. But Purdue made a great comeback opening day. And they've been playing really well on the first few weeks of the season. So I'm not surprised by them winning that game. I just thought that Iowa was going to be able to hold on to that and take care of that. But, pretty much the under happened in that game as well, too. So there's nothing to be too mad about when you're thinking about the Iowa and Purdue game. But it is what it is. It's a new week, new money. And I like Iowa at the minus 2.5. Let's go ahead and see how it shakes out. And then we got the game of the week. This is going to be a big one. This one is going to be on the ABC. And we got Penn State going against Ohio State. I'm guessing that it will be a whiteout game as well, too, at in Happy Valley. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to go ahead and take the over 64.5. They have Ohio State really on way too high of a spread, in my opinion. I really, truly think they will be able to win this game against Penn State. But you're giving them 12. They have to cover by 2 touchdowns. This is possible of happening, but Penn State's still a really good team. And them losing last week to Indiana was no fluke. Indiana's a much better team this season as well, too. So Ohio State will have to go in there with the same focus they go into each game every week and go in there and take care of their business. That's all I got to say is that Ohio State, if they're going to win, they got to take care of their business, and most likely they won't be covering. But They should be able to get the over 64.5 on both sides. So let's go ahead and scoreboard watch and hope for the best. All right, we move on and we have ourselves a doozy. This is going to be the Conference USA, and the Conference USA has 4 conference games this week. They got 2 non-conference games this week too, but we're just looking at the conference games on this side. So here we are, Conference USA bets list. This is going to be the first up, over 47.5, San Antonio, Florida Atlantic. And I'm going to tell you like this, San Antonio really jacked me last weekend. We had Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech was up 19-6. Like easily, like 23-6 or something, like 23-9. They were killing it. They were cruising. It was the fourth quarter. I didn't go back and just like watch the game. I just kind of just let it go by and come back to it because I thought that, hey, look, Louisiana Tech should take care of their business in the fourth quarter. I look up, they lost by 1 point. So this week they got Florida Atlantic, the team that has been on the top level of the conference the last few years, but Lane Kiffin was the coach at that point. Now this team is just going to be, pretty much this team is kind of middling in a sense, but they're still considered pretty good. So I truly do think that the over 47.5 is a strong play here because regardless of anything, both these teams are going to figure out a way to score because they've been kind of, negligent scoring a little bit the last few weeks. But this week, I think both teams turn it up because, especially after you get a 1-point victory like that, your confidence is going to be on at a high. So we're going to see how it goes. Over 47.5, UTSA and FAU. Then we got, that's UTEP too. Sorry about that. So we got the plus 5.5 on UTEP. And UTEP is going to be our play there. They're going against North Texas this week. And so pretty much with that, I do really like this squad a lot. And I think that at the end of the day, we'll be able to take care of our business in a sense to where everything should work out in this game. And possibly UTEP wins the game as well, too. So remember that plus 5.5 is going to be on UTEP. And I'll fix that when we go ahead and get to the actual, when I put out the list and everything on Saturday. But I'm going to actually make a whole collab of everything I've been talking about on the bets list for this week as well, too, on my iMovie. So you guys be on the lookout for that one as well, too. And I also just dropped my Leo Santa Cruz interviews as well, too. So enjoy those as well because it looks like he might be able to get a big upset Saturday night. So with that, we got Southern Mississippi. They're a light favorite, but they're going against Rice, a team that hasn't played many games, and Rice was supposed to be much better this season. So we'll see how it goes. This is going to be one of the better games of the week in the conference. So Miss, let's see what you can do. Let's see if you can cash this ticket out. I got them at the minus 120. And then we got Louisiana Tech. They're facing off against one of the upper echelon teams in the conference as well. They are a 12-point dog coming into this one. I think that this is a little bit too much, but there is a reason for that because Louisiana Tech is not playing really good defensively, and they only playing in good spots offensively against certain teams. So there it is. Those are my 4. And remember, the UTSA is not UTSA. It's UTEP, okay? So there it is. There it is. We move on, and in the Mountain West, you guys have to understand they did postpone the New Mexico-San Jose game. I'm thinking because New Mexico is literally like, I think it's the covet thing with New Mexico, but I think New Mexico is the only team that kind of checked out of what's going on here. I don't know, but they had a game canceled last week as well, too. So here we are, first game up. We all know it's going to be Colorado State, Fresno State. This was right before I saw the line. It's actually dropped to 57 to be exact. But we do have the over 59.5 here, Colorado State, Fresno State. But it did drop, though. So pretty much this was what I had early on because I did this very early in the week. So pretty much it's over 59.5, but right now it's at 57. I know because y'all will see in a minute. So pretty much you guys can take the over 59.5. I have that one as well, too. And I have have the new over as well that I'll show you guys in a second. So pretty much there it is, Colorado State, Fresno State. This is going to be a really good game today. They do have a quarterback on Fresno State side that can sling it, and we all know that Colorado State, when they're playing real disciplined football, they are tough to beat. This is going to be a good game, though. I think that Fresno really can work this one out because, look, they are playing at home, and Fresno is always tough at Fresno. I know that it was a crazy game last week with Hawaii, but that was the first game of the season, and pretty much you're starting a little bit later than you're used to starting. So there it is. Fresno, Colorado State will probably be the best game of the night in college football as well, too. Then we got Wyoming and Hawaii are going at it. And this one was a toughie. But you know what? When teams go to Laramie and go against the Cowboys, it is a tough bag, dude. I'm going to be dead honest with you. It's a very tough game for anybody when they play against Wyoming on the road. So Wyoming, I really do like them a lot in this game. I think Wyoming takes care of their business here. They got them as a pick 'em, but I'll be very honest with you. By the time we get to kickoff, they probably will be the favorite in this game. So be ready for that as well, too. But the pick 'em is the better play for me right now. And then we move forward, and we got Air Force. Air Force is in a pretty good game this week as well, too. They're going against Boise, and Boise is, balling, doing what they do, looking very machine-like as usual. But Air Force is the type of team that likes to take the air out and, really chew up clock, things of that nature. I saw this team literally let Fresno State be on the field for about 10 minutes out of a 60-minute game last year. So this team, if they're moving the ball well, they're going to be a big problem for Boise State come Saturday. I'm not saying that they win the game, but they do keep this one close. So I'm taking the plus 14 Air Force. Let's see how it shakes out. Then we got San Diego State going against Utah State, a brand new team, a brand new look. Now, this game is kind of looking like it might be an overstretch a bit, but I don't know. I don't think so, though, at the end of the day. I think that San Diego State is going to be just good enough here to win this game by 10 or better. Utah State is in the middle of a rebuild at this point, so that's why I feel like this one will go into the hands of San Diego State, who's actually playing pretty good football at this point, and they still have a lot of their, top players back from last year as well, too. So there it is, San Diego State minus 7.5. Let's see how it goes. All right. We got the over 59.5 Nevada UNLV, the rivalry, the Silver State game. And, UNLV came up big in this game last year as a big dog. But this year, though, we're going to chill. We're going to go ahead and say, all right, UNLV, you got the brand new stadium. You have the brand new digs. Let's go ahead and get the over against your arch rival, Nevada Reno. Okay, so there it is, over 59.5, Nevada UNLV. And we move on to the big show, the SEC. We got 5 teams, but we always act like we got our whole conference that can kill the whole NCAA, but it's okay. We got Kentucky. They're in a really good. The Kentucky is in a spot where I think that they are really, really overplaying Georgia. And Georgia is good, but I think that Kentucky being at home, they're going to give them a little bit of a scare here. So I do like the plus 16.5, and let's see how this one goes. Let's see how it shakes out, and we move forward from there. Then we have the under 65.5 LSU Auburn. I think what happens here is that pretty much both these teams are going to chew up clock, and we'll get the under. Defense is going to be at a premium in this game as well, too. You know that these teams are charged up for each other, and I've never seen an LSU Auburn game really get that out of hand. So pretty much this one right here, I feel like it will stay right up under the under 65.5. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. LSU Auburn moving along. Then we got Ole Miss. Ole Miss is going to be minus 16 in this game going against Vanderbilt. And Vanderbilt is struggling this year. It's the struggle. You know what I mean? So pretty much at some point this team will be feasible. But at this time, Vanderbilt is just good old Vandy as usual. So we're going to go ahead and take Ole Miss. This is going to be Lane Kiffin's, game where he gets to tune up the offense, gets to kind of, open things up a little bit and have some big plays going left and right. So there it is. I'm taking Ole Miss with the minus 16. I know this is a lot of points on this team, but Vanderbilt is just that bad. So I don't mind doing it. Ole Miss, let's go ahead and see how it shakes out. Let's get this win. Then we got the over 63.5 Mississippi State, Bama And you know what? Mike Leach is having some real issues over at Mississippi State. It's just crazy. This guy, everywhere this guy goes, he always has a bunch of guys transferring like the first season. Like, always has people transferring. So, pretty much, I don't know, man. But you know what? Mike Leach wins games. And that's what it's all about. That's how you keep getting jobs. And there it is. You know, Mike Leach could possibly give Bama a scare with the offense that he puts in place. But I think what is going to happen here, he just scores a bunch of cheap late points. And that's why I'm going to take the over 63.5 in this spot. And that's going to be Mississippi State and Bama. Then we have Arkansas playing against Texas A&M in a de facto rivalry game. You know that they meet halfway in this one as well, too. So pretty much this game is always closer than it looks on paper. And I'm going to go ahead and take Arkansas this year. Arkansas is a confident team right now. And they're playing some pretty good football. They're 2-2 at this point. Nobody really expected that. But I feel like Arkansas can be very competitive in this game. And they will be competitive in this game. So I'm taking them to go ahead and cover in this spot. Plus 12.5. And then we got the Gators chomping at the bit. They can't wait to see Missouri because Missouri embarrassed them last year with a big win last year that nobody really saw coming. This year, or this time around, Florida gets their momentum back here. They're at home as well, too. They're going to have themselves a big day against Missouri. Even though Missouri did get a good win for us last week as a money line and everything like that, I think they get brought back down to earth and brought back down to earth pretty sharply by them Florida Gators. And that's going to be a wrap on the SEC bets list. And you guys, as I said before, just be on the lookout for the CFB bets list in its entirety. Thank you for tuning into the Primetime Angles, the premier sports betting show, hosted by the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. This is a PrimeWave media production, and go ahead and press that subscribe button.